trying to
Like,
get
yo,
the
it's
fuck
like a
out of
rush.
here.
Yeah, it's like a rush type of situation.
Yeah, but he want to tell me about upcoming artists. And all
No.
this. I'm like, oh, come on, dog. We get it. I get it. Next time, I'm like, yo, I got to be up out of here by a certain time. Hurry this shit up. Wow, I really got one dislike on my review. I thought I would have had more.
That's hate. That's
I
hate.
was about to say just one. That's
That's hate.
definitely hate.
That's hate.
I just
I
need
think
that
we
shit to get
live.
through.
I think we live, people.
We
I think we
live.
live.
All right. Shout out to them people.
Yerp.
Cheer
Mic
up.
check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1
What
2
is
1 2.
this?
Today, as you guys can see, I got the Hollywood shades on. You know what I mean? I got the
Kofi
Hollywood
different.
shades on today. I feel different. You know what I'm saying?
He said
I
IG
feel
and who?
I look different. You know, when you drop a review, right? That gets more views than GameSpot.
Oh,
It's just different. It's just different. You know what I'm saying? It's just different. So that's how I'm feeling today. You know what I mean? I got the Spider-Man drip. You know what I'm saying? Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? I got the Spider-Man drip. We out here. We out here today.
yo, this man is a
was
clown.
Yo, we late, but you already know, usually when we're late, we always deliver a crazy podcast for you guys. But today, it's a little bit of a celebration, you know what I mean? You guys, as you guys probably already know if you following the channel, your boy's review went triple platinum. So, you know, I'm happy about that. I'm glad, man. I'm glad. I'm glad people who are not familiar with me, you know, got an opportunity to see what I can do. So I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy about that.
Definitely round of applause for that.
Yeah, looking at the comment section that people really, really enjoyed it. You know, really enjoyed it. So that's love, bro. That's love. That's love.
That's definitely a huge break because it's like, you know, you've been putting all this work in, you know, trying to, you know, get your shit out there, and finally, it couldn't have came at a better time. Your most worked on review. And
right?
the shit goes fucking viral, like perfect.
Yeah,
I was like, perfect.
Crazy. That's crazy.
I was watching that shit. I'm like, yo, this nigga. Your review was the first one I watched. Like, didn't even. I really don't give a fuck about the other ones. Like, I went straight to yours, and I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
And we was already talking about the game and shit like
exactly.
that. I'm like, this nigga went crazy.
Exactly.
He went
That's good,
bananas.
Man. I'm glad it did what it did. Yeah, we have now crossed 14,000 subscribers, so it's nice. It's definitely very, very nice. All from one video, you know. A lot of people subbed off that video, so hopefully, you know, we get some of them, you know, coming through and checking out some good gaming a little bit later, while live or after the podcast. So right. I hope they enjoy the content on the channel. If you're a first time listener and you know you're catching this later, please leave a comment. I would actually like to know your thoughts of the podcast. All right. But J-Main, we got a lot to talk about today, so let's go ahead and get started. So, Good Gaming episode 51. It's your boy Kofi and the best co-host out here, my boy J-Main. Say what up.
Yes, sir. Shout out to the people in the chat.
Yes,
Make sure you hit that like button. Of course, we live. We back. We didn't have a show last week either, so you know we got a lot to talk about. You know, given the circumstances. So should be a great show, and I'm happy to be here. Blessed to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Once again, J-Main dropped a good review for Spider-Man 2 as well. Spoiler free, so go check it out as well.
Yeah, help your boy get to 1K, man. I would appreciate that. We almost there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'll drop it in the chat in a second. But definitely go check out my boy J-Main Spider-Man 2 review as well. All right, so J-Main, what's the point of asking what you've been playing? We know what you've been playing. You know what I've been playing. I think we should just kick it off. I think we should even just kick it off with Spider-Man for real.
Straight to it. Straight to it. You already know.
So you've been playing Spider-Man, and obviously we're going to keep it respectful. No spoilers. We're not going to talk about no story details or anything like that. But you enjoyed it a lot, right?
I did. Of course, you know, I dropped my review. I called it amazing. And because a lot of people that watched my review, well, not a lot of people, but some people comment like, "Oh, you didn't give it a score." Technically, I did, but you would just have to kind of decode or decipher what my score is. It's in there though. It's in there. But I just didn't want that to be like the the main point of the
Yeah,
review. I just
that's
wanted the people to
yeah,
like to understand what I'm saying about the game and where I'm coming from, and then we could talk about scores another day. Like we could
yeah,
eventually get into it.
yeah,
But
exactly.
no, I really enjoyed it though. I really like one of my favorite superhero stories ever. Period. Like video game, movie, television, like all of that
That's
shit.
really
Like
good.
I really, really, really liked it.
Yeah. Pretty much with all my reviews, I take the exact same approach. I try to avoid numbers and giving it
Yeah.
a score because I feel like that just becomes like the conversation. And sometimes the number never really matches up with like what you be saying sometimes, like for a lot of
Yeah, yeah,
reviews
yeah.
too. Like you could go see a guy, like if you go read his review, it like would be nothing but praise. By the end of it, he's be like, yo, 7 out of 10. Like it doesn't really match up. So, and I feel like that like drives the conversation, like after. So
Mhm.
usually when I make a review, I try to avoid that completely. And I try to avoid talking about ratings or numbers. I want the viewer to hear what I got to say about it, what I liked and what I didn't like, and just that simple. That's kind of like my whole approach to doing reviews in
Right.
general. So
It's the most
I like to leave
important
it
part
open.
of it.
Yeah, yeah. So you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot as well. I enjoyed it as a lot as well. I also agree. I think this is one of the best superhero stories we have gotten out of all the superhero games I've personally played myself. The game is currently sitting at a 91 on Metacritic. Are you surprised by this, Jamie? I'm a little
Um,
surprised. I thought the 88 curse was gonna strike. I really did.
I didn't. I ain't going front. I did too. I did too.
I did
Deep
too.
down, I felt that like even before playing it or even before beating it, like I just thought that people would say that it's more of the same and that it didn't push the envelope to the next level in terms of superhero games and stuff like that. And I thought it would get a lot of 8 out of 10s and stuff like that to the point where it was sitting at like the mid to high 80s. So
Yeah.
I did think that I ultimately landed on a 91 as my Metacritic prediction,
Oh, so you
and that
spot
was
on.
yeah. So I nailed it. I nailed it. But it's kind of been fluctuating though. I ain't gonna lie. That shit, it went down to a 90 and then back up to a 91. And if anybody has ever doubted how important Metacritic is to these game studios, I think these reviews showed just how important it was. Just the outpour of developers that came out and talked about, being so proud and so happy, being brought to tears that they finally have like a 90 plus Metacritic score under their belt, or they worked on the game for so long, and to see it revered by their peers and stuff like that, and like they really care about shit like that. So
They do.
never
Reviews matter.
never get it
It's
twisted.
almost like artists like shitting on the Grammys. Like sometimes rappers would be like shitting on the Grammys, but until they win the Grammy and they're happy as shit, but they always shit on the
Right.
establishment. It's pretty much the same
Yeah.
thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, in the end of the day, this stuff matters. I think developers get bonuses sometimes when a game performs extremely well with reviewers as well. So it matters. Like I've never had the stance that like reviews don't matter. Like it matters to an extent. Like I'm not the type of person who's not gonna play a game because of a review score, but
Right.
I make reviews. Why would I say reviews don't matter if I make reviews? You know what I mean? I think
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
I think that's kind of crazy to say. It's kind of hypocritical to say like I literally make reviews. So why would I say reviews don't matter? Ultimately, the choice is ultimately reviews are just a tool that you should use when making a decision. Not everybody has expandable money to go and buy this and see for themselves. The people who run around and say go buy this, buy that for see for yourself. I think you're stupid. I'm sorry to tell you that. I think you're really stupid. I don't think that's very wise at all. I think as a consumer, you should do as much research as possible, especially if you're not sure about something. If you can't watch some
Yeah.
gameplay and decipher yourself that like
Right. Right.
I'm not too sure about this, go hear some other people's opinions. Maybe some other people's opinions that kind of align with yours. They got similar tastes as you, and before you make your final decision, you know what I'm saying? So I'm
Yeah,
never
but I
one
don't
to
think
shit on
anybody's out
reviews.
here making blind purchases is kind of it is kind of crazy. And plus,
Sometimes they get on Twitter, they talk like that. They be talking like that. It's
in
stupid.
today's
Especially
age,
yeah, go ahead.
it's too much information. I'm saying today's age, like back, like, and I'm acting like I'm fucking 50 years old, but back in the day, like there was definitely a lot more blind purchases going on. Like we would go to a store, look at the back of the case, and you only had, your mom
Word
was
of
like,
mouth.
look,
That
you
was a
only
big
get one
man.
game.
Word of
But
mouth
not,
was the review, bro.
which within your friends, yeah. But a lot
Yeah.
of times, like we didn't know, unless you was looking into magazines. Like I remember when God of War came out, like I didn't really know shit about God of War when it first came out. But when I went into the store and one of the dudes was like, yo, this is like one of the new games, it's highly praised, yada yada yada, made by the dude that made Twisted Metal. I'm like, oh shit, all right, I'm gonna pick it up. So I guess you could kind of say that's word of mouth, going into the game store talking to somebody. But I'm looking at the back of the case, I'm looking at things, I'm like, okay, I could get busy with this, and then I picked it up. So it was a little less information, but it was, you know, something there. It wasn't completely blind.
Yeah, especially you're talking about, you know, back then versus now. Today, we already know how games launch. Even if great games, like for example, you know, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, right? Fantastic game, but it did launch with a whole bunch of problems. It would be smart to actually wait, because guess what? 7 patches later, the game actually runs, you know, pretty damn well. It has a great performance mode and everything, right? So
I think that's for us enthusiasts.
Exactly.
That's another thing,
at least
too.
For
that's
us,
enthusiasts.
Like the casuals probably wouldn't care. They'll play a game at 20 frames per second and not give a shit.
Won't even know the difference.
They will not. Like we're sensitive to that. Like, we're sensitive to that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, as a hardcore gamer, like if you're watching this podcast, you probably are, right? You care about games. You're watching a gaming podcast, right? So as a hardcore gamer, I think, you know, to go into something completely blind is not even smart. Even me myself, who does content creation, I'm always listening. If I watch gameplay, typically I can decipher, yo, this looks like my cup of tea. But you know, even then, if I don't get a review code copy or anything, I might check out a couple of opinions. I might read a couple of reviews if I'm not sure about things. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because you could literally get the game later at a cheaper date, or if it needs patches, you wait for the patches. Because nowadays we already know how games be launching. You know, they be launching at their worst. Games be launching at their worst. Hey, Spider-Man didn't launch bad. That's why you gotta give Insomniac props. They launched this game fire. This game is perfect at launch.
It was running well.
Launch. That's why we gotta applaud them too for that.
Yeah, like I came across a few bugs during like playing the game, but it wasn't nothing like too crazy. Like
performance was great too.
Performance was solid. Like
I think I crashed like once, but
did I crash?
I crashed like once, and that's like nothing to me though. Like
I might have crashed once.
I think I crashed.
I might have crashed once.
Yeah,
I know I crashed once. It was one time where Miles, his electricity powers, it wouldn't leave his body. So like I beat the mission.
You have to reset it.
I had to restart the game. Yeah, he was like sitting perched on one of the buildings, and he was just covered in electricity. That shit was kind of fire. I ain't gonna lie. I took out some videos of it. I'm like, that shit's kind of fire. But yeah, I just had to restart the game. Nothing that like stopped progression. Like the type of bugs that really bother me is the ones that stop progression of a mission. Stop progression of a boss fight or something like that. If it's just something that happens in the open world or happen while you just roaming around, I'm not too tripped out about that. But when I gotta replay missions over, when I gotta redo boss fights, that's the bugs that'll really get me to come out and say like, listen, this shit is kind of fucked.
Yeah. For real. Yeah, I'm just glad Spider-Man 2 didn't have any crazy bugs. Overall, like the performance was great. I had no outside the crashing, like in terms of like consistent frame rates and stuff like that. I had no issues. You said you ran into a bug. Personally, I think my whole like playthrough, all the time I spent in the game, I don't think I ran into an issue like that. The only thing is that I did get that one crash randomly, and I had to just restart from that checkpoint. But yeah, man, reviews matter, and clearly, the Insomniac devs are extremely happy that their game scored a 91. Like it was looking a little spooky for a second. I was gonna drop to an 89.
Yeah,
but it went back up.
It might still have a chance. There's a couple review sites out there still that could
Survivor. They be hated, yo.
That could drop something crazy on them. You got Edge magazine. You got Survivor. I think that still might be coming. So Edge is kind of usually known to give these type of games like an 8 or less. So we'll see. We shall see. But you know, I think
since
the reviews...
since it's at a 91, J man, I don't think it's gonna push it down to like, even if it give it a low score, I don't think we'll push it to 89. But you know what's really impressive that we have yeah, but I don't think their site weighs as much as like an IGN or a GameSpot. I don't think so.
I don't know. That IndieWire, that 83 took it down to a 90. I was like, whoa.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know who IndieWire is. I never even heard of him.
Yeah. But you know what? I also say that is really impressive. You guys got to take this into consideration as well. For a game to have 130 reviews and maintain a 90 itself is stupid impressive. You know, sometimes these games begin a 90 Metacritic with 40 reviews, 50, but this is 130 reviews. 130, yeah. And they all came in like the first few days, like the majority of them. Because they sent the review codes like 3 weeks. Like I had my game. It's funny. I was looking at my my comment section, reading some of the comments, like people are like, "How you got the game? How you got the game?" I'm like, or "How you get the platinum? How you get the platinum?" I'm like, bro, I had the game since like September 28th, bro. They said
you coming up on like a month.
Yo,
of having the
I had the
already.
game. I had the game for almost a month.
Yeah.
Like I had Spider-Man for a really long time now, and I think
sure.
that's due to usually I don't get review codes this early. I think that's just due to the game went gold extremely early. I don't know if you guys remember when the game went gold. It went gold extremely early. Extremely early.
I think it was like that same week that they sent out codes.
I think it's either that or the previous week, and the next week they just shipped it out. I guess they knew that this was a busy month in terms of reviews because Assassin's Creed Mirage reviews came out. I think other maybe Mario, Super Mario Bros. One year reviews. So they probably just want to get ahead of that.
Alan Wake is in some people's hands too. Alan Wake too.
If I had a review copy for that, I'll probably be cooking up something nice. But
I can't wait.
I don't
still gotta play the first one. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
I beat the first one. I beat the first one years ago on 360. Then I beat it again on PC on Steam.
Yeah, I'm gonna play that.
Good game, good game, but it's not. You know what? It has like a cult kind of like following that like people like really rock with it and shit like that. But it still has a lot of room to grow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the franchise has a lot of room to grow, and I do like that they're taking it to this whole like. They're taking a page from Resident Evil and making it more like survival horror. Like when I look at it, it does remind me a lot of like Resident Evil, like its style, especially in comparison to the first one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Hey, I'm not mad at that. I'm not the type that you have to innovate every time with a game. If you see some shit that works, borrow it. Borrow it. Good. More the same is not a negative to me.
Yeah,
that's all.
And they're doing a lot of they're doing a lot of cool tech with Alan Wake too. You know, like I think it's gonna have path tracing. At least on PC. That shit's gonna be beautiful. You already know.
Yes.
You know, Remedy was kind of like the front runners for like ray tracing. Remember when Control dropped and the new graphics?
Oh yeah, that was the poster child.
Yeah, it was like the poster child.
I think it still is. Like people still be testing ray tracing on that with different graphics cards come out and all of that. Cyberpunk is kind of taking that spot a little bit too.
Taking the spot because I got path tracing in Cyberpunk too. So that's kind of like the game to stress test your PC. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But it's pretty dope. But Spider-Man.
Enough slurping about the game. Let's get into some of the things you ain't like about it. You know what I mean? We gotta have some dislikes.
100%.
Let's break those down.
We already know the gameplay, the story is good. Even though, I do want to ask you this. Yeah. How do you feel like? Obviously, it's a sequel, so it doesn't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
But do you think the slight gameplay changes, aka the parry system that they implemented, and reworking the gadget system, do you think that was like enough for you to keep the experience fresh? For me personally, playing the game, like I said in my review, like it just felt like as soon as I touched the controller, I knew how to do. I was already like, doing what I did in the first game, kind of like jumping up in the air, pulling up enemies, taking advantage of doing the air combos and stuff like that.
Muscle memory came right back.
It's like muscle memory to play the game. It was a breath of fresh air having to occasionally hit a counter. You know what I'm saying? With those enemies now. That was actually a breath of fresh air with the parry enemies. And I do like how they reworked the gadgets, instead of using the gadget wheel. I think it just flows better. So I think it's a small refinement to the gameplay, but it's not like a drastic, it's not something super drastic in terms of like the hand-to-hand combat type of situation. Like, it's like a refinement.
Right. The parry system definitely and they implement that like across the board. So it's not just like bosses, it's not just the the foot soldiers, it's everybody. So you can parry. And so when you get that like timing down and you get it right, because it will switch up depending on like who you fighting and stuff like that. So you got to kind of like get the timing for certain areas. And the window I believe it can be upgraded, or at least it can be like shortened, like or expanded or something. One of those, like the you'll understand the window more as you playing through the game. But I did like the parry, the gadget system, like you said, where they switch from the wheel. I definitely like that because it's definitely like more accessible, like right then and there. You see it right in front of you. You don't have to use that slow down wheel.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just that the gadgets they like decrease the amount that was in the game.
I was a little bit. I said that in my review too. I was a little disappointed that like it was less. I expected some to return. And the way that they set it up is like you could obviously you only have 4 face buttons, so you only have access to use 4 gadgets at a time, right? So they could have just made you like, yo, interchange them. I feel like that could have expanded the gameplay
Like
a
they
little bit
did.
more. It would have made like your play style a little bit more different than my play style if they incorporated more gadgets. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get that decision. I don't.
yeah, I don't know
because
why they
even
made it less.
on the other side where you have the the Miles or Peter powers, you can swap those in and out because there's a bunch of
Exactly.
those that you come across.
Exactly.
The gadgets is just those like 4, and then the web shooting. So I don't know what happened there. Like they and it kind of leans into my criticism about the stealth mechanics of this game, because I felt like if they had more gadgets, it could have opened up the stealth a little bit more to different possibilities and things like that. So those two kind of go hand in hand for me with the gadgets and the stealth, where I felt like damn, they kind of dropped the ball, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I don't think I went to, but me and you had a conversation about this in the DMs. But I don't think I went too deep in my review with this as well. When it comes to the stealth gameplay in the game, I think me and you had a little bit of a back and forth. I felt like this one had it was actually a little bit less of an emphasis in Spider-Man 2 versus Spider-Man 1. I felt like it was a little bit less outside of the
In terms of
bases.
what, like the
I feel like the game didn't give me enough opportunities to utilize the stealth. That's how I personally feel in comparison to the first one.
Yeah, I disagree with that because
I don't know. When people play the game, I want to hear what they think as well.
right. I approached almost every mission and even the side stuff, like we were talking about, with the mindset that I wanted to stealth it first and see how far I could get stealth wise, and then from there, if they catch me, then I'm going guns blazing. But it got to a point where I kind of got bored because I didn't feel like the stealth was offering so much new. Like the whole web line thing that you can do, that's cool because you can like mix it up.
Feature. That's a cool
yeah,
feature.
like you could be anywhere, create a web line, and then go across and take an enemy out like that. But I just felt like if they had more different types of gadgets, it would have made it a little bit more varied and things like that. You still have your ceiling takedowns, you have your wall takedowns, and then you have the web line takedowns. So there's some things there, but I don't know. I felt like as the game progressed, I was hoping to see it open up a little bit more and incorporate those gadgets. But yeah, I think almost every mission I was able to try and stealth at first, but then sometimes I just get bored.
Yeah. So I felt personally, like I said, I think the greatest change in Spider-Man 2, the greatest change is the movement in the game. I think it's not the combat.
Yes.
I think it's the movement in the game, swinging around. I think that's where the greatest change is. I think that's where the greatest change is in the game.
Like traversal. So
like
the web
traversal,
wings.
yeah, like the web wings.
Okay, yes.
I think that's where the greatest change.
Yes.
I feel like that's where it actually does feel totally different. J-Man, I don't know if you went back and installed Spider-Man Remastered. For my review, I had to because I went to do. Bro, swinging around is not the same. It's really not the same.
As fuck.
It's not the same, bro. Swinging around is
that shit felt sluggish as hell when I went back and play. I'm like, I don't want to play this no more.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm excited for people to play the game, because now when y'all play Spider-Man 2, I want everybody to go back and play Spider-Man 1. Then you're gonna really see, okay, what really switched up. And the movement is like swinging around is not. It's completely changed in Spider-Man 2.
And I don't know if this makes sense.
The combinations that you can do with the gliding, it's just so much better. It's so much better.
And the city feels like it has more verticality to it. Like when I went back to the first game, I don't know if it's like the camera angles and stuff like that, but it just felt like it was more on eye level. Whereas this one, like when you doing the web wings and stuff, everything is kind of coming from that bird's eye, and you kind of get to see everything, and it kind of just makes everything. I know it's a bigger city, but even when you're in one portion of the city, it just feels bigger than it ever did before. Like I like that they made that feel.
J-Man,
like
it's bigger. It's a bigger feeling, bigger city, but moving around like I felt like getting to one place to the other. You get there quick. The way that they design this game in terms of like swinging around and shit, you get to places quick. You might think, now they added Queens and Brooklyn, so swinging from the financial district to like Astoria or whatever. Yeah, that's like crossing. You would think that would take a long time. It does not take a long time, bro. It does not take a long time. It is.
That's actually a trophy. How
fast you get that trophy? I got that shit so quick, bro.
It doesn't take long. Actually, I didn't get it to the end of the game because I didn't try for it. But
I'm just saying, when I got for that trophy, like wasn't it so quick to get to one way to the other? It wasn't a long travel. It was like
gliding across the water. That was it. I was like, oh, okay. That was it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So they increased the swing speed and the movement overall, because obviously we got these jet streams now that you can take advantage. And you cross a lot of ground, man. You cross a lot of ground. have the
When
loop
you
de loop upgrade and
incorporate,
everything. It's so nice. It's
yeah,
very
when
nice.
you incorporate all of that together with the web swinging, the gliding, going across the water, some cool stuff going on with that too. It's some of the best traversal I've ever
Yeah,
experienced
yeah,
in the
that's the
game.
biggest upgrade to me in the game more than
Easily,
anything. That's the biggest
easily.
upgrade.
Like, though,
Yeah.
I use fast travel probably like 3 times during like the game, and the rest was just like when I was cleaning up trophies. Like I
It's just
was
fun to
using it, of course,
swing.
then.
Yeah.
But you don't want to use fast as fire as that tech is in terms of the fast travel. 1.3 seconds till you get to the area. You don't want to use it because you just want to swing around. You just
Yeah,
want to
it's
get
so much
there
better.
by
Yeah.
means of traversal. So dope as hell. Dope as hell with that. How did you feel about overall about the open world in terms of like its activities, its attention to detail, and interactiveness? I guess I
All
could
right,
say
so
about
not
that.
not get into any sort of, because we don't want to spoil anything for anybody.
No,
In
no,
term
no
in
spoilers.
terms of no spoilers, so you guys don't have to worry about listening to this Spider-Man discussion. We won't spoil a single thing for you guys. As of open world activities, when I went back, when I went back to Spider-Man Remastered, right,
Mhm.
it when I looked at the map, right, and you know how when you hover over a district, it tells you on like your on the like the legend or whatever it's called, right? It
Right.
does appear that Spider-Man 1 has quote unquote more things to do. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? But I will say this, what I had an issue with Spider-Man 1 remastered is that as the crimes to 100% the district, you had to do 4 uh thug crimes, like regular street crimes. You had to do 4. Tell me, help me out. What's the
Yeah,
man's
oh, the chase.
Martin Lee
Oh, yeah,
crimes, what
yes,
demon
yes, yes.
crimes? You
Demon
had to do
crimes. Yes, yes.
4. The group, the other faction.
Um.
Shit. You see, my memory
Is it
so
It's not Sable's group, is it?
Sable, yeah, I think you have to do 4
Yeah.
Sable. You have to do, you know what I'm trying to say. You have to do in the
I
jail
do.
breakout. You have to do 4 4 4. So I
Right.
felt, actually thinking about it, like that one felt a little bit more artificial, right? Because it was kind of annoying because sometimes the crimes will come at random, right? You
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? You don't know what you would get. This one is not really like that. To 100% of district, it doesn't matter what you do. Any of the activities that you do goes
Hmm.
towards the overall 100%. So I do think that was a nice way to approach it. And the funny thing is, when you go to like how long to beat, it's literally like the same time to beat Spider-Man remastered versus like Spider-Man 2 is literally the same time, but it
Right.
didn't really feel like a super drag in Spider-Man 2. I think that's like my whole point in bringing it up, right? Like the
Yeah.
activities weren't really like a drag to finish, where I kind of felt to 100% the district, right? To 100%, it felt a little bit like a drag in Spider-Man, the original, the first one. It felt like a little
Yeah.
bit of a drag. As for
I
the
feel.
variety, if I were to make a complaint, I wish there was a little bit more challenges. I hope Insomnia can do something about that
Mhm.
post game launch. I wish there was a little bit more in challenges to keep you in the game. Like after you do everything, I wish there was like
Oh,
there
like
is
talking about
one
after you 100% it?
after you 100% the game and you kind of like did every
Okay.
single side quest. I wish there was a little bit more combat challenges. I feel like the Batman games did that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
I wish they made some sort of arena mode, and maybe who knows, yo? Maybe someone could tweet at them. We could all tweet at them. But I think that would be a really cool addition to do in a game like this,
Yeah.
just to, after you beat the game, just to keep the player in there. Like I obviously know that they're gonna do expansions, and the way that they set up some of these side quests, which we're gonna talk about in a bit,
Hmm.
we're gonna they clearly have expansions planned for this game. But for just, I wish they made like some sort of arena mode, some challenge mode to kind of like keep you in the game after you 100% the game, to maybe test out, if they had more gadgets, test out more different combinations and stuff, and just goof around and see how, like a survival mode, like it lasts. I think that would have been pretty
Yeah.
cool. That's just my
Yeah.
personal opinion. I think that would have been pretty cool.
I agree with that. I do. So for me, like I did enjoy like a lot of the side missions, I would say. I just felt like the side missions kind of explored more of the character of like Peter and Miles. So like, damn, I'm trying to say this without getting too detailed. Yeah, just know for me, I felt like they did a good job of going into a lot about what the each character cares about and what like means a lot to them at heart when they're not playing as the Spider-Man. And
Yeah.
when you go into those side missions, you feel like, they really tried to do a good job of fleshing that out. The side activities, like some of them you're going to see like return in terms of like the style
The
of the
style, right?
activity.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, you know, they
Nothing groundbreaking or brand new.
no. And yeah, if I had a complaint, maybe like the variety of the side activities could have been different. Like it would have been cool to see them switch it up a little bit and add, a little bit more variety in that
Yeah.
aspect. Attention to detail, that's a thing that I do check out. So I was in that water, seeing and making sure
you're looking for footprints.
Yep, I'm looking for footprints. All of that was there. Small bodies of water, though. The suit does not get wet when I played. When you go into the big, river, East River, you do get wet. You come out and you're dripping. But when you go into like pools on the rooftops and shit like that, in people's backyards, I didn't see, the suit, dripping with water. But everything
That's
else
such a
in terms
baby
of like,
complaint, bro. I
bro,
hate that
it
shit.
just is what it is.
Bro.
It's just
Y'all
it's
attention
what it
to
is.
detail whores, yo. Y'all need to relax
Hey.
sometimes. That's not that serious, bro. That's not that
But
serious, bro.
but
That really isn't that serious.
it's not because they don't. That's not the type.
How many
of
times you
games
jump in
that
the
they
damn
make.
pool? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But how many times you
Every
jump in the
pool
pool?
I saw. Every
Jesus
pool I saw,
Christ.
I jumped in. Every single one. Every single one.
Yo,
I
we all
jumped
play
in.
games so different, bro. We all play games so different. Bro. I
Every
never did that
single
once,
one.
yo. I didn't even waste my time doing that shit.
Yeah,
That's
every
crazy.
single one that I saw. But yeah, and then like yeah, like it's a different style of open world. Like you're not getting the Red Dead GTA style of open world where it's like very interactive. You can go into different buildings and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's
You're
not
not
like
getting
It's
that
similar
here.
to the first one, J-Man. Like we call it what
Very.
it is. The activities are very similar to the first one. So whether that would be a positive or negative to you, I don't know. But once again, if we're shifting gears a little bit and we're talking about side stories, I would say the storylines that they offer, like the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man storylines, and I would say those have improved. But I do have a complaint. Me and you have the same complaint. The game, and y'all gonna experience this. It feels like it gives you blue balls. The
Facts.
game Spider-Man 2 feels like it gives you blue balls when it comes to their side stories because I can't even lie. There's like 3 that end in a cliffhanger. There's a 3 that hang in like a heavy cliffhanger.
It's like you
You're
can
it leaves
clearly see
wanting
where the DLC
more.
is going.
Yeah,
Like we could probably, when we do our spoiler cast, we can probably name they did like 3
I
DLC
can
packs.
name all the DLCs.
We
I
could
can
probably
all
name
the
all
DLCs.
3 of them right off the bat. And I don't feel like it was that obvious in the first one. Like
Me too.
I don't know. I'm
Me
playing this
too.
one and I'm like, damn, that's it. Like it ended like
Me
it'll be some wild
too.
shit about to happen. You'd be like, oh shit, this is that. And then it just be like it's over. I'm like, what?
That's what I'm saying. I feel like I felt like that's what this game needed for me personally. When it came to the main quest storyline, absolutely fantastic. I have no complaints. The pacing was great. The missions were great that you did, right? I loved everything. But when it comes to like the main side stories, first of all, there's not a lot of them. You could go to there's a area in the game where you can actually go look at a breakdown of all the missions. I don't know if you look, J-Main. And if you see the side stories one, the tab is pretty sparse.
Yes.
The tab is
Yes,
very
yes.
sparse, personally. So I felt
Yeah,
like
so that was weird because that side missions tab
was
it only like
you saw that you saw that. We ain't gonna say, but you saw that, right?
But I didn't. That's the thing about that. I didn't look at.
You know why? Because there was
There's
two major main ones. There's only
Right.
there were the 2 main ones. The rest of them
But they
they
weren't
were like
listed
smaller.
there.
They're more smaller mission styles. So I'm just saying, I wish some of these side quests actually came to completion, yo. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I hope that's what I'm hoping. I hope some of these side that's my gripe. I wish they kind of close off some of the storylines with these side missions instead of leaving them open for DLC. You know what I'm saying?
because they were really good. They were really good. Like once you figure out like what's going on with them and how some of them even relate back to the main story. You like, oh shit, like we about to get all of that right here right now, and then it just ends. So it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you said, blue balls like a motherfucker.
Yeah, so but besides that, man, Spider-Man, great game, man. I can't wait till y'all play it so we could really get into more story specifics because the game has a whole lot of surprises. Can you believe that some people are so hypersensitive to quote unquote spoilers? Like I named my spoiler like a spoiler review, which I 100% didn't get into shit. J-Man, you have played the game to completion. What did I get into?
Yeah.
I didn't get into nothing.
There was one thing you got into that I didn't expect you to.
Which part?
I guess you kind of talked about it on Twitter, but it's not really a spoiler. It's just I didn't think you were gonna talk about
curious.
it.
I'm so curious. Type it out for me. Type it out for me still.
Yeah,
or
I'm
type it in. Send me because I feel like I didn't give a single. I didn't give nothing.
It's something that returns. It's something that returns. So
come on, bro. Oh, come on, really?
It's not you know what
I talked about. You know what I talked about that. I feel like it's nothing because the fucking the embargo paperwork that I have from Insomniac literally says I could talk about these things. By the way, guys.
Okay.
By the way, you know, when you get a review code copy, right? You get a list of rules. Let me give you a curtain scene if you don't know. You literally get a list of rules of when you should live stream. Don't show this. Don't show that. Don't show this. You literally have with Spider-Man 2, the embargo rules were fucking deep. We weren't even allowed to show footage from a certain act going. We weren't even allowed to show nothing after that act on the embargo paperwork, right? So for the part that you're talking about, it fully said I was allowed to talk about that, right? They said that was fine. And it seemed like one of the biggest questions people had too. I don't feel like that was a spoiler, and because I didn't really get into.
It's not. No, not that it was a spoiler that you talked about. I was just surprised because I thought that was a nice little. To me personally, I thought that was a nice surprise that I thought people would be delighted to see that they made some improvements.
Delighted to see or mad to see? Which one? Delighted to see or mad to see?
Both. Because when it first happens, you might be pissed, but then I feel like
because I've been seeing nothing but complaints, and I hope this is not in the game. I hope this. That's all I've been seeing on Twitter.
Right.
That's all I've been seeing. Honestly, really, if you watch my review, trust me. Real quick, Jamie, if you watch my review, trust me, you didn't see shit. You didn't see shit.
Listen,
straight
you
up.
did fine.
You didn't
Insomniac
see shit.
spoiled more than anybody. Like
that's a fact. Their launch trailer had more shit than my shit. Their launch trailer literally had more spoilers than mine. What are you talking about?
What the fuck is wrong with it? Why would they show that? Like that right there to me was a major surprise. I'm like, like that when that first happens, I'm like, oh, this is crazy. I didn't even think he was gonna be in the game. Like, they was bugging out with that.
Exactly.
And
they showed way more than I did. They showed way more than I did. So
they did way more. There are post-credit scenes in this game, 2 of them. In typical Marvel fashion, so make sure you stick around for all the credits. And they're pretty major.
Yeah, they are. I'm looking forward to having a proper discussion. I'm glad that the game's launching tonight. A lot of y'all probably gonna be staying up to play it to midnight. Maybe y'all listening to the podcast right now to waste some time, to wait until the game unlocks and stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoying the podcast. If you are, please go ahead and hit that like button. It would really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And shout out to all the first-time listeners. If you're a first-time listener, please say something in the chat if you're watching live or after the podcast is on video on demand. Please leave a comment. I would like to say what up to you and maybe ask you what you thought and stuff like that. So please let me know.
Two more questions before we close. I guess we close out this topic. Do you feel like it looks like the game didn't score below an 8 overall, and the highest of course being a 10 in terms of Metacritic? The 8 out of 10 from IGN, of course, that was a big topic on the timeline. Do you feel like you understand, or the 8's is justified?
I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at an 8. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not mad at an 8. If someone decides to give the game an 8 out of 10, I don't think that's the craziest score in the world. So I don't think people should be attacking the reviewer for giving the game an 8 out of 10. To be honest, I think that's not bad. I don't think that's too bad. To be honest, I don't think that's too bad.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm not. I'm really happy the game did kind of score a 9 and got a 90 plus. More so because Insomniac's just been putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of feel for them. Like they've been like a super consistent developer. And with Spider-Man 2, at least we got a game that's complete in the sense of like, they shipped the entire game on a disc. You could play the game start to finish, no major patches or anything like that.
The bar is in hell.
No perform. I know that's what the bar is in 2020. I'm telling you, I know it sounds crazy me saying that, but in 2023, that's kind of like to be applauded nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like because we're getting games not even shipped on the disc. We're getting games that need a mandatory day 1 patch. We're getting games that like are just broken at launch and it's just the worst version.
This game is none of that, bro. Literally came out and said, the game is coming out with performance issues. We'll fix it later.
What's happening with Lords of Fallen? What's happening with Lords of Fallen?
Lords of the Fallen too. That shit is running. Well, I don't know to this day, but at least it launched fucked up. Like
yeah, getting terrible performance.
all
So
over
like
the
I
place.
can't be like I'm just happy for them because they're a consistent developer, and if anyone decides to give this game like a 9 out of 10 or anything, like I'm not mad at that either. I think honestly, I think that's where this game is between like an 8 to 9,
Yeah.
8 to 9. That's
I'm
what I
so
personally believe.
I'm so happy that their next game is Wolverine and that it won't be an open world game. I'm gonna say that. Because I don't need my games to be open world, like for me to enjoy it. In fact, a lot of times open world stuff it just bogs down to a lot of repetitiveness and bloat that don't need to be there. But a more concise, even if it's open linear style game, I'll take that these days over an open world game. So if you're not gonna do it to the level of like a Rockstar, like that's the type of open, or even like what you see in Breath of the Wild in that style, like if you're not gonna do open worlds like that or cyberpunk or whatever it is, like then I almost rather you not even do it.
You know why, Jamie? It's just a burnout. You know what I mean? Like there's so many open world games. Like there's so many, bro. This year alone, we probably could name like maybe 20 open world games. Like if we really tried, we probably could. You know what I mean? So it's just a burnout. So like you're saying, I am glad that Wolverine is gonna be it's described
Probably open linear.
I think that's like the rumor. I don't know how true it is, but I really doubt it. I don't think the game will go
open
that
world
direction.
Wolverine.
Yeah, that doesn't even sound right. I could see it being open in the sense of like a God of War style. You know what I'm saying? Like a God of War style type of open, but open linear. You know what I'm saying? And I'm 100% cool with that. I'm 100% cool with that.
Me too.
Yeah,
last thing I was gonna ask is, God of War Ragnarok was the previous highest selling PlayStation game in terms of like the first week sales. First 5 days, it did 5.1 million. Do you see Marvel Spider-Man 2 eclipsing that and becoming now the fastest selling PlayStation game of all time?
How many PlayStation consoles are out? What's the last reported number?
Last reported, I believe, was 40 million, and that was in June. June, I think it was. Let me see. 40 million.
I think even if it doesn't break, wait, what Ragnarok was also that counted PlayStation 4 sales. It wasn't just on PS5, right?
It did. But I think majority were on PS5.
Okay. So I think it's there's a possibility, a very strong possibility that it could break the record or pretty much tie the record since it doesn't count the PS4 sales or like around, you know what I'm saying? Like be close, be around the same ballpark. But the thing is, with Spider-Man, best believe with every new PlayStation 5 sale, a copy of Spider-Man 2 will be bought. A copy of Spider-Man 2 will be bought.
That attach rate, it will be high.
So
because that's what was happening with Miles Morales.
Exactly. Miles Morales was on MPDs for like a hot minute. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. For a hot minute. So I believe this will literally have the same effect. If you're a new customer going in to buy a PlayStation 5, you're most likely going to be picking up Spider-Man 2. So I think when it's all said and done, this game is gonna have sold a shit ton of copies. And you already know what's gonna happen. 2 years later, it's gonna release on PC. The PC man's gonna jump on it too and support the game too. So I'm really looking forward to playing this on PC too.
I was playing in performance mode, like, I need this on PC ASAP. Because
why are you saying that? You think the performance mode is bad? Obviously the fidelity looks sharper. It looks sharper.
You lose a great deal of detail. Like it got to a point sometimes where those moments where you kind of just walking around as the character when they're outside of their suits. Mm-hmm. I switched over to fidelity mode because it's like it's no gameplay happening here. So I want to see these areas and these character models in their full, fidelity. So I switched over and I'm like, damn. This shit looks fucking
I played a majority of the game in performance mode, but for the case of obviously the review, I did swap to record some fidelity mode gameplay as well. Yeah. And first of all, the game boots up right away in fidelity mode. Like it starts you off in fidelity mode. So I kind of played like the whole beginning part.
Oh, yours did? Mine's didn't.
Yeah. I think there's a setting on your PlayStation, right? There's a setting on the PlayStation to do that, right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So I did try to, I do have a TV that supports I do have a TV that supports 40 frames per second as well. So I did try that mode as well, like the uncapped fidelity.
How did that feel?
And it felt a little better. It felt a little better. But that's 60, man. I feel like, especially for a game that has so much of a focus on the movement, that 60 felt just too good to me personally. Like just watching it all in action feels amazing. So like you, I can't wait for the PC version to dip, I will be playing Spider-Man 2 on PC 100%.
Hey, PlayStation, if you're listening, fuck what I said, man. Bring that day and date, man. Bring that day and date,
I
dog.
told you, bro. We
Bring that
need that,
day and
yeah.
date, man.
At this
I don't give
point,
a
like,
fuck
why
about them
not,
sales no
bro?
more.
Why not, bro? Can you
I
imagine if this
get it
game get launched?
from their business side,
Yo, but can you imagine if a game
man,
like this launched day and day? Do you think will be any question of it breaking some sort of record? Do you think will be even a
hell
question,
no.
J-Man?
Nah,
Exactly.
yeah, sales would be through the roof.
Sales will be through the roof if Spider-Man 2 dropped on PS5 and PC the same day. Can you imagine the
Yeah.
concurrent plays on PC? Come on. It would go
Nuts.
crazy. It would go crazy.
Nuts.
I think the games lose steam after time. I'm sorry. After 2 years, 3 years, you're not gonna get obviously the same effect as launch day. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, because their mindset is they're trying to get those anybody is possible to buy a PS5. That's what they want to do. So there's going to be some people that waited out, and that's who they sell into those 2 years later. But
Exactly.
yeah, the hype from going day and date when everything is like at its peak marketing and shit like that, you might be able to get more people to buy it doing that than they will 2 years later on PC. So it's definitely a battle, but we'll see how Jim Ryan about to be up out of there, so we'll see how this next guy feel about it.
All right. Definitely. All right, so I think that's enough Spider-Man talk for today.
Yeah.
We're definitely obviously going to be revisiting that since more people are going to be playing the game and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I'm doing a Q&A tomorrow on my channel, spoiler free. I'm doing a Q&A on my channel tomorrow. I'm gonna be starting like the ultimate difficulty and stuff like that, and I just want to talk to the people, see how they feeling about the first few hours, and if they got any spoiler-free questions for me, I definitely want to answer those, just to check the temperature.
Okay.
But spoiler cast is definitely coming soon.
Yeah, we're gonna do that together. All right, J-Man, can you introduce this topic? I'm gonna go check on my kid real quick. Can you just introduce this topic? And it's the PlayStation 5 Slim. We're gonna jump right here. So talk to the people about this real quick. I'll be right back.
Absolutely. All right, so we missed last week, so there is a few topics that we do want to cover from the news cycle, and one of them was that PlayStation has officially revealed the PS5. I guess they not officially calling it a Slim, but when you look at the comparisons of the models, it's a Slim. All right, there's no way around it. Like this joint almost looks like almost 50% like skinnier when you got the comparison. The thing that shocked me the most about this was that they still have two models of this. And why I say that is because each one has the ability to either attach or remove the disk drive. And with that being an option, I don't understand why they are still selling two SKUs of this. They have the one that comes with the disk drive and then the one that doesn't come with the disk drive. So still with the digital and the disc version of the PS5. Both models now have 1 terabyte of storage, and that's a upgrade, or a small upgrade from I think like the 825 gigabytes that they had originally. And both models will have custom face plates moving forward. So the ones that we have currently won't work on the new models, but they will be bringing out custom face plates for the new models as well, with the colors and stuff that they're coming out with. In terms of pricing, the disc version is staying at the $499 price, at least in the US. It's staying at that $499.99 price. And then the digital version is actually going up to $449.99. And this had a lot of people like scratching their head because typically the slim versions are cheaper. Like, at this point in time, they have, the cheaper parts. They're making them smaller, so it's less material and things like that. But these models are either staying at the same price or increasing in price. And it didn't make sense to me. I'm like, from a consumer perspective, like that didn't make sense. We never really see the slim models go up in price. Yeah, sure, they have more storage, but what is that, like an extra 200 gigabytes? Like that's like one game these days. that's like one game these days. That's not really saying much. Of course the models come with a stand, but they check this out. The original PS5 comes with a stand that you could either stand the PS5 up vertically or horizontally, depending on how you want to fit it into your entertainment stand, on top of your desk, bottom of your desk. They realized that we love to stand our PS5s up. And so what they did is they put this little small ass paperclip sized horizontal stand in the box with this new PS5 model. And if you want to stand your PS5 up vertically, you're gonna have to pay that extra $30 for a vertical stand. So Sony definitely got in the Apple bag with this model right here, and it was like, oh, this is something that y'all like. We're gonna take it out the box and charge you extra $30 if you want to stand it up vertically. Now, for me personally, it wouldn't bother me if I bought it and I had the vertical stand. I mean, the horizontal stand in the box and the vertical stand. But that horizontal stand looked like it can't even support the PS5. That shit really looks like it's made out of paper clips and floss. Like I don't get that. But the vertical stand being $30, they I don't know. They they can't they gonna get away with it because it's PlayStation, but I don't understand. Like they shouldn't get away with it. That's some bullshit. Let's just say it like that. That's some bullshit right there. So apparently these models are going to phase out the current models that are in store and eventually be the only models on the shelves moving forward. And I guess also you could say that the pricing of the Slim Digital is that way because if they charge, say they kept the Slim model at $399 and they charge what they're charging for the disk drive is $79.99. So if you bought the Slim model for $399 and then the disk drive for $80, $79.99, that's actually cheaper than what they would have been charging for the disk model, which is $499. And so I guess they figured they're not coming down on that price. So we might as well go up on the digital price because that's probably not the model that people buying the most. So that definitely is some interesting business tactics that they got there. And the shit they do like this because they know they can get away with it. It's that bullshit that Sony be on.
My bad. Where we at? My kid is teething, so he's having a hard time.
He's going through it.
Time. Yeah, my apologies, people. My apologies, but family comes first. I gotta take care of the little kid. I had to go get him his teething medicine.
For sure.
But
I was just breaking down the pricing and the storage and the vertical and the horizontal stand and of the new PS5 Slim model.
So okay, I don't know what you got into, but as for the design, I saw a kind of mock-up side by side. I don't know if you got into it with them already, and I'm actually surprised how much smaller it is, though. Are you?
Yeah, it is. Like, because for the longest we kept hearing that it wasn't really like the Slim. They weren't calling this the Slim. They don't even like advertise it as a Slim,
right? Maybe it's not small enough.
Yeah, but when you look at that comparison, I'm like, that looks like a pretty big like decrease in size.
Yeah.
When I was looking at like the side by sides too. So
yeah, exactly.
I'm calling it a Slim. I don't know what the fuck else you call that. Like, what do you call it? It's not a revision because they don't add nothing to it. It's a little bit of storage, but it's not like they changed up anything else in it. Like I'm calling that a Slim.
Yeah. I think we're just gonna. So is it pretty much confirmed that they're gonna phase out the old PS5 and this is gonna replace the old models? I think this is pretty much it, right?
Yep, that's pretty much what they said. Like this is gonna it's coming out in November, but it'll once the old ones are sold out, this is gonna be the new model that's in hand. And you know what? They probably didn't call it a Slim because, like I just got finished explaining, Slim models usually come with a price decrease. This came with a price increase, if anything.
Oh, so you got into it. That's what I was gonna ask next. So it seems like the digital version has gotten a $50 price. And the funny thing, me and you, prior to all of this, like when we were listening to the rumors and all of that, me and you think we're gonna get a $50 decrease.
Yeah,
that's what me and you were thinking.
My prediction was $349.99 for the digital.
So, but they actually jacked it up to pretty much the same price as the disc, right? Is it the disc variation?
No, actually, I said $349.99 because I thought it was only going to be one model. I didn't think they were doing two models. So yeah,
two models.
Now,
okay, I see.
The digital is $449.99, so it went up $50.
Okay. Okay, so what do you think of the design? Obviously, it looks the same in family.
Right.
But I can't even lie.
I like it.
I like it. Because I always thought the PlayStation 5 looked fly. I always just thought it was just too big. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I always liked the design of the PS5 because I like when consoles look like a video game console. You know what I'm saying? I like when they look fancy and shit. So I'm actually really impressed with the digital version, even though I'm kind of all against the digital only console. I'm not really a fan of
It
that.
goes against your morals.
It goes against my morals to support an all digital console. You know what I mean? I'm one of the last people remaining, trying to fight. I got my shelf full of physical games behind me and stuff like that. Me, I'm physical still till I die. Like when it comes to, I do a lot of heavy PC gaming, but
Right.
the reason why I don't mind copying a digital game on PC, because at the end of the day, if it gets ripped away from a storefront or something, like the reality is it's probably cracked on the internet somewhere where I can go and play it for nothing, for free. So
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's
So
true.
you always have that security net on PC, but you don't really have that security net on console. You don't really have that.
Right.
That's kind of like the problem. So
I like it though.
yeah.
I think it
I
keeps
like how it looks.
that futuristic sleek style to it. I was telling them I didn't understand why they made two models. I don't get it. I don't get the two model thing. I think the fact that they have the detachable drive, why not just make the digital model the main SKU, and then if people wanted this shit, they could buy it later.
That's true. That's definitely true.
Like they always tell us digital is, the majority of sales these days, but I don't know, maybe from a marketing standpoint or a selling standpoint, it's hard for them to sell something like that without the disk drive now. I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows? Who
That
knows?
might.
But if it's replacing what was already on the shelf, then it's probably way cheaper for them to manufacture these ones. So it is what it is,
Yeah.
right? And there's already two models out now. So what does that mean for future consoles? Do you think that for the PlayStation 6 is not going
Yeah.
to ship? If we want to do a future prediction real quick, right? Do you think it's going to launch with a disc drive or no?
No.
You
No,
don't
I
think
don't.
you think the base model of the PS5 is going to launch with no disc drive? What do you think? And
Yeah.
what does the chat think too? I'm curious. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I think the base model PS6 is not gonna have a disk drive because I think they buttering people up right now, introducing this new detachable disk drive. Like
They're
they
getting us
buttering
ready. They're
people
getting
up.
us ready
Like
pretty
they
much.
getting you ready. Like, listen, because what next
This is
gen
an
probably not
add-on. This
starting
is
for
an
another
add-on
five
now. You know what
years.
I'm saying? Like they're trying to be like, yo, this is like an extra now at this point.
Yep.
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 That's damn sad. That's
Fit.
damn
I
sad,
don't think
man.
like physical. I don't think it will go away, but it's gonna be very, very like you're gonna have to start buying games through like limited run
That's
when you
gonna be
want to get
so
like
tough.
physical AAA games.
But we're definitely getting to the dark times. I call it the dark times personally, but we're definitely coming to the dark times because look, even Alan Wake 2 shipping
Yeah.
a game, no physical copy. Look what Xbox has been doing, and we saw the leaked documents for Xbox and their next Series X refresh console, no disc drive. You know what
No
I'm saying?
disk drive.
And guess what?
Yep.
With their games, Ghostwire Tokyo, guess what? It didn't get a physical release.
No
Hi-Fi
physical.
Rush, guess what? It didn't get a physical release.
I
Halo
think
Infinite didn't
Walmart.
ship with the game on the disc. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
well, I think
So,
Walmart came out and said they're about to stop selling physical Xbox games. We see
oof.
Best Buy losing the physical media with the Blu-rays and the DVDs. It's
It's coming. We're
definitely
coming. We're getting there. We're getting there, and it's sad. To
it's
me, it's
getting
a little
close.
sad. We're getting there. We're definitely getting to the era where physical game this is probably going to be not non-existent. I think Nintendo will probably be the last man standing when it's all said and done soon. They're
Yeah,
gonna be the
I
last
heard they
people
might.
standing.
There's a rumor going around that they might have a
Cartridge,
digital, all digital
digital only.
version. Yeah, well, they do it, right? Don't they have a
No, they
digital
don't. No, no, no,
Switch?
no, they don't.
All Switch
They
take
don't.
cartridges, even the light.
Also, even the light takes cartridges. Yep,
Oh, okay,
all of
okay. I
them
thought
take
the light was a
cartridges.
digital only. Yeah, I'm hearing they even about to venture into it because don't probably cartridges cost a lot. Like
Yeah,
those shits ain't cheap.
yeah.
So yeah, but the scary thing about that, all like I know you talk about like preservation and stuff like that. For me personally, the scariest part is the fucking prices. Like they control
That's what I'm
that shit.
saying.
And it's not like the PC where you got all these different storefronts that you can kind of go to and get codes. Like PlayStation, the only way you can buy them games is from PlayStation. Like
J-Man,
they control that
I
price.
don't know if I told you this story. I took a massive L earlier this year. I wanted to play Dark Souls 3 really bad. Really, really
Yeah.
bad at one point. I'm like, I want to play it. I went on the computer. I'm like, shit. The store had it for like 40 bones. I'm like, yo, Dark Souls 3 released a while ago. Let me see if I could cop it digital real quick. J Main. I went on PSN. That joint was $79.99, bro. $79.99 for Dark Souls 3. This is the future y'all want, bro. Holy. But my black ass was too lazy. See, this is probably also my fault. So I can't even blame place. This is my ass fault. My black ass was too lazy to get in my car and drive and go pick up this fucking game. For my convenience, I wasted money and bought Dark Souls 3 for full price digitally.
That convenience shit is a motherfucker, dog. Like literally, the game store is probably like 5 minutes from me. I'll be looking at some shit on the PlayStation store. Like I could probably get this shit way cheaper at GameStop. But you got your card right there. You can put, you buy it right on the system. Just download it right away. You're like, fuck it.
Bro,
Some people say they go all digital just because they don't want to swap the disc out.
Yeah, no, that's lazy.
The disc is right there, that's dog. You don't want to swap the disc out, so I'm all digital. Like, yo.
Nah, that's lazy.
But they know that.
But take it in. Now we may be onto something because think about Uber Eats, J-Main. I don't know about where you live, but
yeah,
where I be Uber Eats, low key, it's like a 5-minute drive sometimes.
Yeah, it'd be right there.
It'd be right there. I could get in my car and save that fee. Their fee is crazy.
Fee. Yeah, and you get it at peak hours. It's a different price.
Exactly, but when you just in your crib, it's so enticing. The app, just tap. Bring me my damn food, bro. You know what pissed me off though? Since we're on the topic of Uber, bro, if I pay for priority, I want my shit right now. Why they sending the dude on a bicycle, bro? Do that cheese you, or is that only me? Does that cheat? When I pay for priority, why is a man on a bicycle delivering my food, bro? Maybe I'm all right. Now I'm getting into some next shit, bro.
Where you at? You might have more people on the bike that deliver. I'm like in the upstate, so we don't have everybody driving.
When I see a man on a bicycle with my food, I'd be tight, bro. I'd be tight.
Yeah, I was down in the city one time. I ordered some White Castle. And fucking the dude pulled up on the bike. He had my drink in a bag. Half the fucking drink was at the bottom of the bag. I'm like, I don't want this shit no more.
I'll be so pissed. Why you on a bicycle with my food, bro? Like I'm gonna nah, that's crazy. Why do they even allow that?
That shit is it's the worst. It's terrible. But yeah, man.
Man has your whole food in his backpack, just swing. I just polish. Bro, why you tossing my food like that, bro? Like, nah, that's so disrespectful, bro. Every time I see someone have a bike, I want to cancel that shit. I want to cancel that shit, bro. Every single time I see somebody, I got a bicycle, that should be cheesing me, but
that mean he in the area. That's what that mean. So he gonna get to you first.
Yo. So do you think we pretty much covered this? Okay, so you already talked about the release date, right? It says November 10th. Apparently,
that's the rumor. Yeah, that's the rumor. It's November 10th.
November 10th. All right. So
that sounds about right.
Tom Henderson reported about this digital modular disk drive console a long time ago, and he was spot on
last year. Yep.
So does that mean he's spot on with the PlayStation 5 Pro coming next year? What do you think about that?
He's Steph Curry from the free throw line at this point. So
yeah, he's really good. His
percentage is high. I'm leaning towards that they're gonna do a PS5 Pro model. I'm not sure the price. Seeing as how prices ain't coming down, I'm fully expecting this PS5 Pro to be like $600.
How much is the How much is the PlayStation in America? How much is it?
$499.
Okay. Wait. So you think it's gonna be what?
$599 for the Pro.
$599.
Yeah.
Ooh.
$599 for the Pro. $100 more than the main.
Actually, no, that makes sense. No, what am I saying? Ooh for? That makes sense. That makes sense. Why you think that's?
What you saying? Ooh for is because $600 ain't been a $600 console since what? PS3.
Low key, they probably could get away with it, yo. They probably could get away with it because, like you said, and when we had this discussion before, like only the enthusiasts really are gonna end up buying this pro console anyways. When you see the sales breakdown between the Pro and the regulars, obviously more people own the regular PS4 more than the Pro, right? So maybe they will put it at that price point for, this is just for y'all enthusiasts that want that, 4K 60, and no compromises type of situation. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely could see it. I would buy it. I would buy it. I ain't gonna lie. Shit, I even want this. I want this. Shit, I hope.
Why the hell you want this?
I want. Hopefully, your places, y'all listening, y'all put me down. Put me down on the list to review. This new console, bro, because I do want it. Yo.
What you want, the one with the BBL, or you want the one? You know what I mean?
You know what? The funny thing is, I have a disc drive PlayStation already, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I might go for the all digital still this time around.
The all digital always looked better to me. I just always wanted that disc drive there
option,
because
I was on
as the option, So now that if something was to happen to this PS5 and I got to get a new one, then of course I would buy this. I'd probably get the digital one and then get the disc drive whenever I need it. Because I only what's the last time I played a physical disc game? Forspoken. What's that? Back in February. That was the last time I bought a physical game.
You wanted to take that shit back. That's why, bro.
That's exactly why I did it. But I game share now. So if me and my game share partner not going halfway in the game and a single player, I'm buying that physical. I'm buying that, beat that, and then trade that motherfucker right in.
Okay. All right, so we can move on from the PS5 Slim. We're probably going to get more like an official announcement when it's dropping, but it is dropping before the end of the year. And
they said definitely November, so sometime in November.
What's going on with all the people going crazy over the stand? From my understanding, that's a premium stand that you could buy separately. Isn't that not what it is? Like the console comes with a stand though, right?
That stand that come with is bullshit, dog. You seen that shit? The stand that it comes with, it only has the option of horizontal display, which is a downgrade.
Oh,
yes.
Really?
Which is a downgrade from what came in the box originally with the original PS5. I'm gonna link you to
Oh, that's what they said?
I'll link you the picture. No, that's facts.
So you only can lay it flat if you just buy it.
If you buy it now, if you buy it straight up, only thing that's in the box is something to lay it flat. Yeah, look at the images I just sent you.
Oh, they grimy.
It's hard to see, but there's a picture like a third of the way down that has the PS5 on the side. Click on that picture, you'll see like a little clear stand that has it horizontal. It still looks like the disc drive is hanging on the floor. Look at this shit, looks crazy.
Oh shit, I didn't take that in. So are you telling me? So if you buy this digital console, you only can lay it flat. That's what you're trying to tell me.
Yeah, disc or digital, you can only lay it flat.
Oh, they nasty then. Oh, PlayStation, y'all nasty for that.
And then they charging for that vertical stand $30.
Oh, y'all nasty for that. Y'all could have included that.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
That's why people was calling them Apple. It's like, oh, they on that Apple shit.
Yeah, that's nasty. I didn't even know it was like that. That's nasty.
Typically, like they'll charge for the vertical stand, but that was back when it didn't come with the vertical stand in the box before. Now that it came with the vertical stand in the box, they included it, yeah. And now they taking that out. Like, that's kind of crazy.
That's kind of nasty, especially raising the price. Even I know that they're giving us a full terabyte this time, not this weird like 800 gig type of situation.
25, yeah.
Right. But still, come on, like y'all could include that in the box. So that's kind of nasty. All right, so let's move on, bro. Let's talk about the big news. Let's talk about the other big news.
ABK on the way.
It's finally over, yo. Holy, I gotta lick some gunshots for this, yo.
Fucking over. It's
finally
over.
Man. But you know what? Let me read some super chats and some channels before we get into this topic. Yeah, then we'll get into it. Yeah. Retromatic 154 says that boy Kofi doing Drake numbers. Yes, sir. Salute. I appreciate it.
First week Drake numbers. Shout out to the boy.
Yes, sir. Hindsight with Hustle. Shout out to Hustle and Motivate. He says, what's good, y'all, with the super chat donation. I appreciate it, my guy.
Shout out to Hustle.
Face 23 BK and Y with a $20 super chat donation. I appreciate it. He says, this is how you know the PS5 Pro is coming. Spider-Man 2 has VRR option unlocked, smooth, off, so it will take advantage of the PS5 Pro. Yes.
That's a good point. Yes. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I think this was the first game that, in terms of like that VRI option of it being unlocked. Yeah, uncapped.
Yeah.
That is true. Wow. Yep.
Okay, real quick. If they're launching, I have to say this. If they're launching the PS5 Pro, please do a better job with software day one than you did with the PS4 Pro. They got you. If they were smart, they will have
what you mean
premier, by that? Yeah. If they were smart, they will have a premier game ready. I don't know if it's going to be Wolverine. I don't know what it's going to be, but they should have a premier game ready to be like, to show off with the console. I remember
there was no premier game for the Pro?
No. I remember I brought that shit home and mans were playing Ratchet and Clank. Mans were playing like checking out Ratchet and Clank, which I done beat. Checking out like Horizon. You don't remember when everyone brought their PS4 Pro home. There wasn't like, they didn't really launch it with a game. It's just like, yo, you could play your old shit better. But I think this time around, they should at least launch it with something that like, yo, okay, this takes full advantage of the PS5 Pro. I'm really hoping that they're prepared this time around, at least with one piece of content that really shows off what the console could do, a first party game. Not, you know what, go back and fire up Spider-Man 2 from last year and just see how much better it runs. You know, I really hope that's not the case this time.
Because the Pro came out in what, like October?
Yeah, they had no launch. They had no software launch for it. Like not a new game or nothing. No, they didn't have anything, man. I remember this, yo. It was just they had nothing ready, bro. It was just go play your old shit, which is not like cool. Like I get it. It's just like a upgrade to play like your current like. But I really hope that they do have something ready, like a first party game ready.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Yeah,
I agree with that. And they also was using it to promote like VR and shit at better.
Yeah.
But I don't even think they had a marquee VR game ready for that either.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe they could have something on both fronts: a VR game and a fucking marquee like AAA banger.
Just to show off. Just show off what the console could do. Blaze 4K with the $5 super chat donation. I appreciate it. He says, J-Man plays Final Fantasy 16 over Spider-Man is crazy. I told him a little story.
What happened? Oh,
when you receive, yeah, I'm like, yo, when J-Man received his review code copy for Spider-Man 2, I saw him I saw him fire up Final Fantasy 16. I'm like, yo, in my head, I'm like, yo, what is this guy doing? I even messaged this guy. I'm like,
Kofi was in my DMs immediately. Like, what the fuck is you doing?
I'm like, yo, bro.
I told him my OCD had kicked in. I was like, yo, I gotta finish up Final Fantasy before I play Spider-Man. But I quickly got over that. I got over that. I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm off. I'm off this shit. I gotta play Spider-Man. Cause I was on it though.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hustle just joined and became an elite gamer of the channel. I appreciate it. Blaze 4K with another super chat donation. He says, now you don't need the stand to keep it up. I use my PS5 without a stand. I guess you could do it. You could.
That's true.
That's at your risk, though.
It's not. Yeah, it's not.
Yes,
it's
not at your risk, though. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because the way I have mines right now, like it's at the bottom of my desk on like the that bottom shelf of the desk. The way I be playing, I be kicking my legs sometimes. I be throwing myself around. If I hit the desk and it didn't have the stand, it would
probably
tip
fall over. Yeah, fall over. So yeah, use it at your own risk. You could probably stand it up, but it's probably not the safest thing to do. If someone bumps your table, probably wobble over.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So, all right. So, AKA BK whatever, Activision Blizzard King is finally done. It feels like we've been talking about this deal forever, J-Man, on this podcast. You know, every time, like we would dread it every time, like, oh, it's another topic. Oh, like, we got to talk about this shit again. But I don't mind talking about it today because it's the deal is done. It's sealed. Microsoft, the video that's playing on the featured window tab right now is Microsoft pretty much welcoming Activision Blizzard King to the Xbox family. And, J-Man, how do you feel? It's all said and done. How do you feel? I guess that's my question for you.
How do I feel? In terms of for Xbox, I hope that what this can do for them is bring more gaming revenue, I guess, to go towards other, first party creations. And because we see now Phil is on his kumbaya shit still, so he's talking about everything being parity and no exclusive content for the Xbox platform. Yeah, especially for Call of Duty.
Yeah, I think he's referring to Call of Duty. So I don't know about anything else, but at least Call of Duty, it would be. Yeah.
Right. In terms of like the dormant IPs, I don't really care. I don't really care about those. Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like I cared about those coming back. So if, I see a lot of people have their lists on the timeline about IPs that they want them to bring back. Prototype, I never even played it. Crash Bandicoot. All right. I'd rather see them just do
I see what you're saying.
Other things other than bring back old games and continue with Call of Duty. So hopefully this could mean Activision is coming out with different things. I think Phil Spencer came out and said he wanted to sit down with the studio, see what they want to make and go from there. So hopefully that means newer things, different IPs, rather than rehashing older ones. From a Game Pass perspective, I'm a fan of Game Pass as long as the publishers are. So if this means more games for me to play in Game Pass and I don't have to spend the money on, I'm A-okay with it. So I do like that. Call of Duty being a Game Pass and stuff like that. So yeah. Other than that, I'm grateful that this happened to PlayStation because now they can fucking stop relying on Call of Duty to bring in the revenue for them and they can focus on their own multiplayer games.
That's what I've been saying.
Please.
Like you, since we're pretty platform agnostic, we play on we play where the game's at. We're where the game's at. That's how our approach is. We might have preferences here and there, but we will never not play a game because of a platform. That's not how we roll over here, right? So
never.
When this deal got announced, I was indifferent. You know what I mean? I was indifferent. I thought it was
first got announced.
Yeah. I was indifferent in the sense like, Microsoft's gonna own them. Like, I wasn't. I thought it was like a wild announcement. Like, holy shit, Microsoft's actually trying to buy Activision. Like, I felt like that. But like, in the end of the day, it's like, whatever. It's really not gonna change much for me. I thought, but what I would like to see come out of this whole thing, if something's gonna come out of this, is that some cross contamination between studios. That's what I would like to see. Yes, I don't know if it's the right word to use, but I'm gonna use it anyway. I want to see. I think you might mean
pollination.
Whatever. I want some of like the Call of Duty devs to maybe work on or help each other. Maybe help some of the Halo teams, or I would like to see that type of shit going on. Like, at this point, if you really think about it, Microsoft owns a shit ton of IP. Sure, a lot of them IP are dormant. Some of them will probably stay dead forever. But I wouldn't mind, now that, okay, let's use ID Software, right? The creators of Doom, right? Boom, yep. Since now they're under the umbrella of Microsoft, maybe they want to work on a franchise that they couldn't have never worked on before because, they had no like ties or rights to that IP, but at least now they have a pool of IP that maybe they can choose from. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Definitely. For example, like if ID say, I'm just throwing out a random game. If ID says like, yo, I want to make a brute force game or some shit like that. Like now there's a possibility of that, right? So I think that's cool if Microsoft allows that to happen. If Microsoft allows that to happen and gives developers like, okay, yo, we would, now we're part of you. We would have always loved to work on this, on one of your IPs, like a Gears of War or something. We would have loved to always do that. I think that would be fly. Okay. I think that would be fly. You know what I'm trying to say?
I do. I didn't catch it at first, but now I understand. That would be interesting.
That's what I'm saying. Cross, like because at this point, y'all are one big family. At this point, y'all probably could work on whatever IP, whatever the team is suited for. So can you imagine like one of the Activision teams felt like they were very passionate about creating something in the Gears of War franchise? I say let them.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say?
So like putting their own twist on the franchise and giving
some
them
popular franchises. I think that would be exactly. I think that that possibility makes deals like this potentially exciting. That's if it happens. That's if it happens or not, or if Microsoft plans just to keep the status quo. Phil Spencer recently did.
That's interesting.
Phil Spencer recently did an interview or like an interview on a podcast, on the Xbox Central podcast. I think it's their own podcast, where he kind of alluded to this being maybe a possibility in the future. That he's taking trips to teams where he's gonna ask them, "What do you want to do?" type of situation, right? And I think that's nice. I would like to see Toy for Bobs and studios like that have become kind of like studios just Call to work on Warzone. I wouldn't mind to see maybe Microsoft asking those types of teams like, yo, do you guys want to make something else? It doesn't even have to be like their own, like whatever they want to make, a Banjo, another Spyro, another, like, I think that's cool. If it's opening the option for more games like that, then I'm okay with the deal.
That would be cool.
I think that.
But do they do that in return or result having less people working on Call of Duty, which might take away from the production of that?
We've been hearing rumors that. We heard these rumors that Call of Duty might not be a yearly type of cycle anymore. Remember those rumors were becoming a thing? That they might just extend the life of a Call, make it maybe every 2 years. I don't think that's the craziest thing. I don't think that would kill Call of Duty 2. What do you think about that though? Actually, do you think that would actually hurt the franchise?
Man, listen.
Maybe if they did like the Modern year Warfare that was no new Call of Duty, like they do like big expansion. 3
is fucking Call of Duty Modern Warfare
Pretty
2.5,
much, right?
dog.
Like, yeah,
They
just expansion.
remastered 12 maps and niggas is hyped. Like myself included. I live streamed the beta off of those maps hype below.
That's
Like
what I'm saying.
they can literally, and people are gonna buy that. People are saying the game, they bringing back shit to the game that was in previous games, and everybody's
That's all they
this
do.
is the
That's
best.
all they
This
do.
is the best feeling Call of Duty. Like that's what they can get away with. Like they could have
Yeah.
skipped a year. Like they could do that, or extend the one game for 2 years. Like you said. So yeah, if they can do that, I think people will still be on board. And then,
Yeah, you
like,
don't think Call of Duty will fall off? You think people, and especially
I don't.
Warzone exists too, which apparently that's like a large amount of players. You know, they love Warzone. You know what I mean? So maybe that could be a possibility. I think if they shuffle things around, maybe we could see some more games being created from some of these studios. So it's just not all of them working on Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. I guess we'll see what happens. Ultimately, we know Microsoft is going to make a shit ton of money, right? Even though they spent what, 68 billion. I did a quick Google search how much Activision made in revenue in the year 2022, and I believe it was $8 billion. $8
billion? Okay.
$8 billion. So if we do some math, hey man,
that's just Activision Blizzard too.
I think that was just Activision Blizzard made $8 billion.
King make a lot of money too.
So if we do some quick math, I don't think it's gonna. I think within a very short time, they're gonna a couple of years, they're gonna get their money back from this deal, even if they just leave everything that's like status quo. You know what I'm trying to say? I think they'll get their money back in a few years.
So King made 2.79 billion last year in revenue.
Right.
2022.
Double check Activision Blizzard. I'm pretty sure I read 8 billion somewhere for 2022. Right. Double check that for me though. But that's a lot of money. Bro.
But the thing about too why it's hard to use revenue is it doesn't take into account how much it's not profit. So
it's not profit. It's not profit
in terms of them like bringing back what they spent. It's gonna take some time. It's definitely gonna take some time, but they still it's a lot of money coming in from both of these factions. So yeah. They'll get it back eventually, and then if revenue increases, then that could change the landscape
time frame,
and everything like that too.
Yeah, the time frame until they recoup. They're gonna get. Microsoft could, you know what I'm saying? Microsoft got money, so they could even take.
But do you have faith that Microsoft will make better out of Activision Blizzard King? Like, do you have that feeling that, all right, all the things that you're excited that could happen, all the things that you're kind of presenting that might happen, do you have faith that they will get that done?
They haven't done anything to prove to me personally that they can make it better. They haven't done a single thing to lead me to believe they'll make it better. I think time will tell. Will tell if, in the end of the day, this was good for gamers. Right now, Phil Spencer's talking a big game. Right now, he's on a press run telling us that Call of Duty is coming to the Nintendo Switch for the first time in like 11, 12 years or something like that. He's talking a big game about it's going to be parity across all devices outside of performance, of course, because obviously you can't make parity with this like a Nintendo Switch and an Xbox, right? But in terms of content, it's going to be content parity. So I want to see if he's going to deliver those promises first, because I'm very curious to see how modern Call of Duties are going to play on the Switch. And obviously we're going to get a new Nintendo hardware soon. I'm really curious to see how all of that's going to play out. As for is Xbox going to make Activision like, I don't know. I can't confidently say I believe they will or they won't. I think at bare minimum shit will remain the same. I think that's like the bare minimum. I don't think it will get worse. I think at bare minimum will probably remain the same. That's what I think.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Well, they got they have fucking like Diablo, and I'm glad we could talk about other shit other than the whole deal thing. I never doubted that it would happen. I wanted it to happen. So, and I know a lot of people they want Phil Spencer to be cutthroat and eventually take these games off of PlayStation. Well, at least we know that's not happening for what 10 years.
At least 10 years. Yeah, 10 years.
At least 10 years. But I don't know. The landscape gonna be very different by then, and who knows? Now they're saying that insiders are saying that Sony is what is it? They are pressured to now make a big purchase for a publisher and stuff like that. I don't think that's gonna happen though. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think they if anything maybe a Square, but I just they don't got the money like Microsoft. You know, maybe they could get a loan or something like that. But
Listen. Right now, PlayStation got what Microsoft desperately needs, and that's the clout. That's what Microsoft needs. PlayStation. I'm sorry. This might sound bad, but PlayStation is cool. It's not just cool among the gamers. It's cool among pop culture. You know what I'm saying? It's very cool around. And Microsoft needs to be cool. That's what they need to be. You know what I mean? And until that happens, I think PlayStation is going to be okay. Like you said, I'm happy that this happened for PlayStation as well, because this puts a little bit more pressure for them to be less reliant on Call of Duty and maybe start developing some more multiplayer experiences themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, every Call of Duty sale is gonna Microsoft is gonna get, I don't know what the split is. I don't know if it's more, but if it's the normal split that we know of, Microsoft is gonna get 70% of every Call of Duty sale on their platform. So Microsoft is gonna be making a lot of money off PlayStation, a lot of money. So maybe it's time for PlayStation to not make Call of Duty their premier type of game on their platform, in the sense of like, because it is the top selling game every year on their console. So maybe it's
they're gonna make it Battlefield. You seen that resurgence? You seen that comeback? Woo! Battlefield is back, baby. 100,000 players on that Steam, boy. They need to go ahead and make that thing free to play officially.
Shout out to No Envy Gaming. Shout out to No Envy Gaming in the chat. I think this is my first time even seeing you in the chat. I don't know if you've been here before. It's your first time, but welcome. You're saying something that I've been saying on this platform, and J-Man, you could attest to that. I've said this. I always felt that was Phil Spencer. I felt like all that corporate PR talk, all that nice guy stuff, is all just for the cameras. I think when the camera cuts off, that he wants smoke.
Oh yeah,
he's on that type of time.
We've seen them leaked emails.
I think they're on smoke, and they're on that type of time. But obviously, for the lights, the cameras, for the image, you gotta present yourself one way. Like this is what they're doing. Phil Spencer is a wolf in sheep's clothing. I truly believe that myself too. I do truly believe that.
But that's also a corner that they put themselves in, because prior to this, Microsoft wasn't afraid to do exclusivity and exclusive deals and games and shit like that. It's the nice guy shit that actually got them to where they are, and having to play nice and put everything everywhere. If they kept the goal with the 360 route and I guess a little bit of early Xbox One days, they could have been in a position where if they bought Activision Blizzard and made that shit exclusive, it might not have went through because of the regulations, but it wouldn't have been a shock to see that. It wasn't until they started being we want games everywhere, Game Pass, we want you to play this shit here, that, and there.
You know what? Part of me that's respectable, but part of me feels like, with what Microsoft owns right now, there should be no reason why y'all can't sell 100 million consoles. There's no reason why y'all can't capture more of the console market space than sell 50 or 60 million consoles. There's no way. You own Bethesda, you own Call of Duty, you own some of the biggest IPs in gaming. I feel like if Microsoft
the latest Bethesda release didn't help them win NPD, dog. That's
what I'm saying. Like, I'm just saying, like, I feel like if they had a great marketing, which I feel like Microsoft is right now, their marketing needs a lot of work. It's not on the level of PlayStation. It's not on the level of PlayStation. I feel like with
they got to spend more money.
With what Microsoft has, there's no way that you should be selling 50 to 60 million consoles at the end of the console cycle. I feel like they should capture way more of the market with what they have. They own you own Call of Duty. You're telling me you're not gonna?
But they not making those games exclusive, though. They not the problem.
Yeah, see, that's why when I kind of cringe a little bit when I hear Phil Spencer on the podcast saying, "We're not gonna use Call of Duty to sell more Xboxes." I kind of cringe a little bit when I hear that, because like, why wouldn't you? Like why wouldn't you try to leverage,
they got to keep up that nice guy image. That's the image that they created for themselves these past few generations.
You know what we need? We might need Phil Spencer to step down and a new boss in town to really put their nuts on the table. That's what we might need. That's what we might need, man.
Yes. When Phil Spencer said that shit about, if Starfield's 11 out of 10, it's not going to make people, go out and buy an Xbox.
Because we clearly saw NPDs. People went out to buy an Xbox that month. Exactly. They had record-breaking sales The month of Starfield.
Yeah, the most they had since like 2016 or something like that.
So why would you come out on a public platform and say people are not going to buy consoles because we make a 11 out of 10 game? I think sometimes their thinking is a little bit off. People will 100% buy an Xbox if we had quality games that it could only be played there and PC. People 100% buy that. The hell? You know what I'm saying? So I never really understood that. But
question.
Microsoft owns Activision Blizzard King finally, so we could put this at rest. Hopefully, there's not too much acquisition talk, but we're already starting to see who's PlayStation gonna buy, who's PlayStation gonna buy. Yeah, I even seen a rumor that Xbox is gonna buy Paramount. Like, when does this shit end, bro? Like the fans just come on, like it's time for them to actually deliver on the promise of games, yo.
Yeah. They don't need to buy nobody else, dog. Like
they don't really need anybody.
30-something studios now. 30-something studios.
Figure out managing the studios that you have first of all. Yeah.
Yes. Because that's the biggest like question mark with Microsoft. Can you manage all of this shit? Yeah, I was having problems with managing before with just 6 or 7 studios. Now you got 30-something that you got to make sure is putting out quality at a good clip. That's not an easy task. But you had dudes on Twitter, Xbox dudes on Twitter, like, oh, Microsoft put out a new commercial for the Xbox and every game was exclusive except Cyberpunk. Do you think they're gonna buy CD Projekt Red next? I'm like, come on, dog. Come on, dog. Like, this is where we at now. Shut the fuck up.
Viceroy, shout out to you in the chat. I don't know, you might be a first time. You say that they release their games day and date on PC. They will never sell over 100 million. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I feel like I don't believe that either.
I
feel like the console deal is sweet. First of all, if the console deal is sweet, because PC gaming, as a PC gamer who's been gaming on PC since 2014 now, right? I've been heavy into PC gaming. The experience is very different. I don't care what nobody says. The entry barrier to a console is just way easier. It's just the truth. I'm sorry to tell you that. It's just the truth. You deal with less. PC gaming is great, but you're gonna have to tinker. Eventually, you're gonna have to tinker and do that. A lot of people don't want those experiences. When people just want to go ahead and buy a console for their kid, for this, that, they just go in there. I believe Microsoft has the capability. I don't sell them short. I believe they have the capability of selling 100 million consoles. I think they just need to leverage their IP and have a better marketing strategy, and they can get there. I really do. I think them making commercials saying no console required, I think that's counterproductive. That's what I think.
That's killing it. Yeah.
See, I think that's what's killing it. You're telling me that it can't reach 100 million? I think them making commercials saying no console required is killing the console. That's what I think. Yeah. I think that should be that's a stupid marketing campaign. That's stupid. Why would you?
You got the casual. You got the casualists of the casuals that will be like, oh shit, I could play Xbox games on my TV and just stream it. They don't
act like they want you to get it. That's what I don't understand.
A year.
Yeah.
They not gonna buy an Xbox. When before, if you had exclusive game, they will pick it up. They might not play it a lot, but they're gonna pick it up. So
yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think
as they stand right now, no, they're not gonna ever sell 100 million consoles.
I think they have to change their marketing strategy first of all, and maybe how they manage their IPs and the way they deliver it. Maybe give console some sort of type of exclusive, whether it be some sort of exclusive content, this, that, or that. I think there's a way. You own too much shit for you not to be able to leverage to get people to go outside and buy a console, especially when you have a console costs like $200 or $200. Like, you know what I'm saying? They have a console like what, $250. I think they can reach those numbers. I think that's just not their focus, right? And I feel like their focus is we all know their focus. Their focus is Game Pass, right?
Game Pass.
But the thing is, they really want them numbers. But I feel like the easiest way into Game Pass is getting people to buy a console. That's what I really feel like. Remember when Phil Spencer came out and said the Game Pass numbers were kind of stagnant on console because everybody who wants Game Pass already pretty much, we feel like they already have it. Yep. So how do you increase that number Sell more fucking consoles.
Games.
Sell more fucking consoles. Then you
so you say everybody that had the console.
Yeah, because he literally said verbatim. Don't say what I'm saying. Phil Spencer said verbatim. We're at the point of Game Pass subscribers on consoles that everyone who wants it already kind of has it, so it hasn't really seen much growth. He literally said this shit. He literally said this shit. How would you sell more Game Pass on console? Sell more fucking consoles. But it's counterproductive when you have a commercial says no console required. Don't buy our console. Yeah. Play it on a Samsung TV. It's like, come on, it's counterproductive. That's my whole point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
This
I
shit, you
don't know.
see, it's completely opposite. Like with PlayStation, they're trying to hit record numbers with console sales. They got
That's what
all
I'm
types
saying.
of
And Microsoft
bundles,
not focusing
all
on. I
types
feel
of
like they need
price
us.
cuts
I
and
feel
shit
like
like that.
listen.
Like, it's going
I feel like
wild.
Microsoft should still do the PC thing. I'm not saying don't do the PC thing, right? Because I really feel like, yeah, there's gonna be some crossover that some people are just like me, right? Will stick to the PC, which I prefer gaming on PC. So I'll obviously get sit, but there's gonna be people that are gonna stick to the console as well. There's always gonna be that group of people that are gonna want to play on a console and not want a game
And
on a computer.
that group gets bigger to me as gaming grows. Gaming is only getting bigger. There's more people gaming than ever before. So I think the pool of people that potentially buy a console is bigger than it's ever been. So you can have a generation with multiple $100 million console units sold from different manufacturers.
Yeah, I don't think
Publishers
we
and
should
shit
sell
like that.
Microsoft short. They're projected. I remember during
Oh no, I'm
this
selling
whole
them short. I'm selling them short. It's just because it don't line up. It don't line up for them to do that. They would have to backtrack on so much goodwill that it would almost kill. It would almost kill the brand if they backtrack. If they backtrack on PC shit, the whole.
I'm not saying but Jamie, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not saying for them to backtrack on PC. I'm saying that maybe change your marketing strategy to not no console required and maybe put the box front and center at places. That's what I'm trying to say. So try to sell the console. That's not going to go against. Why?
That goes against their whole image. That goes against their whole image. Their image is play anywhere because they want to get you on Game Pass. So, like I said, they would have to rebrand their whole image of getting people to play anywhere so that they can get the Game Pass.
How many people are playing Game Pass on the cell phone?
How many?
You think hundreds of millions? You think hundreds of millions of people are playing Game Pass on the cell phone right now?
Hell no.
Okay. Is it safe to assume
billions of gamers? That's their whole pitch.
Is it safe to assume most Game Pass subscribers is probably on console and PC? Is that safe to assume?
Absolutely.
You think that's very okay? So I think that's where they should focus. I think that's where they should focus then. Yeah, that's just my take, but who am I? I'm just an armchair guy just talking shit from my computer anyways. But I think they should focus on the console a little bit more. I think they should focus on the console a little bit more. I don't like how they're treating the Xbox console. I don't like how they're treating it. I don't like how they launched the console then kind of want to fix it later. Now we've seen the rumors that they're gonna actually release a next gen controller this time around. Now they do plan, I don't like how they launched with the same UI people been using since the Xbox One days. Like I don't like a lot of little stuff that they do. Like they should. I want them to refocus on the console and
exclusives.
PC.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I feel like if they do that and have a really good marketing strategy, they will sell more boxes. And by selling more boxes, you could advertise more Game Pass to those users to sell more Game Pass. Because I don't know how much people are really running out to subscribe to Game Pass on your iPhone. I'm sorry, Jamie. I don't know how many people are really doing that. And your Samsung TV.
I'm getting the Samsung TV, yes sir, just to get Game Pass.
That's just my take. But hey, man, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Well, since we're talking about all of this, I guess we could quickly go over NPD stuff real fast. PlayStation was the best selling console of the month of September for dollars and units.
During Starfield month.
So, but Microsoft was the second best selling console for units and dollar sales as well, the second best. So the Nintendo was actually last this time around. Nintendo was last this time.
Finally, that shit's starting to slow down. Well, at least for this month.
Mario, it was a big month for
up.
Microsoft. Yeah, it was a big month for Microsoft in general. So, Starfield was the best-selling game for September, right?
It was. Starfield was the best-selling game of September, and it ranks at number 7 right now for the year.
For the entire year. That's impressive. I think we all knew that. I think we all knew that the game, well, at least me and you, we knew that the game was going to be successple. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
What
especially on PC?
What drove the sales? They confirmed that it was PC. The most. The game sold the most on PC. Most of the sales.
Once I saw how it did on Steam and shit like that, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to do numbers.
Yeah, I think it had PC. Over 100 million concurrent players, probably more at one point in time, right? Maybe 200. I don't know. I have to go and check. Right. But it had a lot of concurrent players, so we knew that a lot of people bought the game and owned the game. And I guess that brought up the conversation of Game Pass hurting game sales. So does this debunk Game Pass hurting game sales? Because Starfield is the 7th best-selling game in the United States for the entire year. Yes. So does this debunk that Game Pass kills game sales? Would this game have reached higher on the NPD list if Game Pass didn't exist? I guess that's my question for you.
Yes, it would have. I think Bethesda games in general are are pretty big. Bethesda, like the Skyrims, the Fallouts, and then this coming from the developers that make that. I think this game would have did more if it wasn't on Game Pass, and the whole Game Pass thing not debunk. I mean, debunking the whole Game Pass thing and hurting sales. I ain't gonna say it hurt it in this case because they probably did increase in subscribers and they also look like they sold well here. But I do think it would have sold better if it wasn't on Game Pass. I just think certain games can sell without like Game Pass being a factor into it.
Yeah, and I think even with these subscription models existence, I think some people just actually like buying games though. You know what I mean? I'm one of those people. I think people still, because clearly, I'm pretty sure if you're gaming on PC, you know the Xbox app exists. We're on Windows, you know that Game Pass exists, but they still chose to purchase it on Steam. That's where all their games are, and they just wanted to buy it. So
yeah, that's another thing too. I don't know how popular the Microsoft Store is on PC.
On PC,
where I think a lot of people still lean more towards fucking with Steam over buying it on or having it on Game Pass with the Windows Store.
Yeah,
so
I think that's safe to assume. Steam is
and this being
jumping
a
on
big
PC.
game. Yeah, this being a big game, they rather buy
Just
it
own
there,
it, just buy it,
than
own
to,
it. Yeah.
right, than to play it on Game Pass. So
Yeah. All right. So congratulations to them, though. I'm happy for them, yo. I wanna bounce from this conversation to what do you think Starfield is gonna do at the Game Awards? Because that's been a popular trending topic among the gaming community the last couple of days, because we've seen Spider-Man get glowing reviews, a 91. Mario Wonder got a 93 on Metacritic right now, and people are assuming that's definitely gonna be nominated for Game of the Year, because a lot of people, I've been seeing people say this is the best 2D Mario since like Yoshi's Island in terms of revolutionizing the franchise and the creativity of the levels and all sorts of shit. So people have some crazy big praise for this new Super Mario Bros. Game, right? And obviously we still have at least one more major release with Alan Wake 2, which is having some glowing previews. Apparently, people are saying the game is absolutely fantastic. So who knows what that's gonna end up being? So a lot of people seem to believe that Starfield, yes, it reviewed well. They got an 83 on Metacritic, which is not a bad review score, even though, but it didn't match the anticipation that people thought. People were like walking in like, this is gonna get Skyrim type numbers. It's gonna get like a 90. This is gonna get right, but it ended up getting an 83. So it kind of missed the hype in terms of like review scores and stuff like that. So do you think there's a possibility that Starfield gets kicked out of Game of the Year contention at the Game Awards?
I don't.
You don't.
And
think
not
so?
even.
You think it's a sure plus? It's gonna be in there.
I do.
I kind of feel.
And this
the
ain't
same
even.
to be honest.
This ain't even my personal opinion about the game. Like, I still have to get back to the game and play more of it and stuff like that. But I just think with the year that Microsoft has had, this is how I look at the Game Awards. I look at it as a lot of politics.
I think so too. That's my reason.
When you have a year like Microsoft were releasing all of these games, and some of them were duds, some of them were this, some were that. But Starfield also being a big Bethesda release, also coming in as something that, because it's not just Metacritic that you got to go off of. What happens with these games and the review process in terms of being nominated is they go to an outlet, they'll have a bunch of people from that outlet vote on what their game of the year is, and then that will be the representative for that outlet. So now that people have had more time with Starfield and they got to sink their teeth into it more, different people are going to have their experiences and stuff like that. I still think Starfield is one of those games that people are going to revere for being a Bethesda-style game. And in addition to that, I think it gets in because it is a representative, a big, AAA banger representative for Microsoft. And they want to get them in there, man. I think they want to get them in there.
I think it's gonna make it too. Despite why? Because like you said, I think politics does play a huge factor in what's gonna be in there, and I think popularity as well. I think they do pay attention to what games made a lot of noise that year. You know what I mean? I do think they pay attention to that, which hey, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. I think Starfield made a lot of noise, whether you loved it or you people were very mixed about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So I think there's a strong community for both that we really actually love this shit. And there's a lot of people saying that this shit was kind of disappointing. It was a little bit polarizing in a sense. But I think I think it makes it. I think it makes it. So if I want the chat to participate in this as well. If you can, you guys, and I'll read some of y'all answers. Name the 6 nominations you think will make the Game Awards. And I want to actually name this. What do you think at this point in time, right?
Yep.
What do you think is going to be the 6 games that are going to be nominated for Game of the Year? And I want the chat to participate as well. The 6 games y'all think.
My 6, I got Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay,
I got Tears of the Kingdom.
I think that's guaranteed. That's mine too.
I got Resident Evil 4 Remake.
I think that's mine too.
What's that? 3. I got Spider-Man 2.
That's in mine too. Yeah.
I got Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And I got
mine too.
Starfield. I got Starfield.
Okay, I think ours is the same. I think ours may be the same.
Yeah, I had Final Fantasy 16 in there before, but I think Mario Bros. Wonder knocks that out.
Yeah, I don't think Final Fantasy 16 makes a nomination for Game of the Year. I think it's actually gonna win probably best voice actor, and I think it's gonna win best action game if it's in that category, if it gets considered in that category.
Right.
At this point in time, do you think Baldur's Gate 3 is a 100% victory? 100% victory at the Game Awards?
I think so. If I was betting on anything, it would be Baldur's Gate 3 for me. I do.
Yeah.
I think I seen you say you don't feel like it's a short shot.
I don't think
winner.
I could see an upset happening. You don't think there's no possibility the upset happening? I could see the upset being either being Tears. I think I could see the upset being Tears. I could see it. I could see it.
The only reason why I don't see it is because
is there a voting aspect? Is there a voting aspect? Isn't there a voting remember
for the fans?
For the fans. Isn't there a voting
the
aspect?
The fans, yeah, we get
remember a small percentage. A small percentage.
Yeah, a small percentage of whatever the fans end up voting to get in counts as a small percentage towards the main.
Majority of the votes are going to probably be Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Then Nintendo
for the fans?
Crazy. I think so.
You talking about PC dudes, though? PC niggas know how to congregate. They know how to come together, get on the forums, and be like, "Yo, football just Gate 3 yada yada." That's gonna be a tight ass race. That's gonna be a tight race.
Let me read some of the people's thoughts in the chat. This one's from Duran Stamps. He says Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man 2, Mario Wonder, Starfield, Resident Evil 4 remake, or Final Fantasy 16 if the remake doesn't count. If it doesn't count, remake needs to be in there. I stand by that. Remake needs to be there.
That was a good remake. That was
bro. It's almost like a reimagining in a sense too. Like they changed too much for it to not be considered one of the best of the year. I don't care if it's a game that had a template already to follow, but they changed a lot about it in comparison. If you actually go back and play the original, Dizzy123 says Wonder, Spider-Man 2. Baldur's Gate 3, Zelda, Resident Evil 4, Sea of Stars, Final Fantasy 16, or Armored Core 6. So I guess he's saying, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Sea of Stars. Yeah. He had a little bit ending that. He had a little bit of sauce at the end.
I was watching Hard 8 podcast and Rock brought up a good thing. What if they increased the amount of nominees this year because of how crazy this year was?
I think that would be
fucking whack. No, that would be whack.
You think it would be whack? You want to see someone get snubbed?
Yes, that would be funny. That would be
more entertaining. It'd be more entertaining. Yeah,
everybody should not be able to get in. Like I'm mad they got 6 now. They used to have 5. It used to be 5.
Yeah. I could see Jeff Keighley pushing it to 7. I could see some shit like that. I could see him. He's gonna do that.
He's gonna do that because the backlash if Starfield don't get in is gonna be so crazy.
The internet is gonna go crazy. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy if Starfield doesn't make it.
If there's no Xbox representative, period, it's gonna be crazy. Yeah, not saying that it deserves to be there. I'm just saying what the backlash. It is what it is. If you end up having something like 2 representatives from Nintendo, say a Final Fantasy 16 gets in there, a Spider-Man gets in there, and then like Baldur's Gate 3, and then like Resident Evil. No, they're gonna go. They're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
go
The start, yeah,
fucking.
people, yeah,
I would
they're gonna
love
go
to see
nuts.
it. Like I would love to see some
You already
shit
know
like that.
me
They're
and you
gonna
here
go
for the. We got a
fucking
popcorn in
crazy.
our hand. We just gonna enjoy the entertainment. We're just gonna have fun watching people.
I'm fucking yo. They're gonna go nuts. So I could
Yeah,
see him increasing it. I really
yeah.
could.
Shout out to Benji. He says RE4, Spider-Man 2, Zelda. Okay, Baldur's Gate 3, Metroid Remastered. That's a new one, and Super Mario
Hell no.
Wonder. I don't think Metroid's gonna make it. He didn't make it. See,
Nah.
the only
Hell
remake
no.
this year, people saying like, "Yo, why you putting Resident Evil 4 there, and not Dead Space?" Because I feel like Resident Evil 4 was a huge conversation. It was a way like people
Dead
kind of
Space came and went.
it kind of came and went, but RE4 didn't. It kind of stayed. It was like a huge.
It
It was
did.
like it was like a thing when they released.
And they just dropped the DLC that got high
On
praise
top of that
too.
too. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's still kind of fresh in people's minds.
Yeah. Yep. Marshmallow says Spider-Man 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the Kingdom, Super Mario Wonder. I think that's like what everyone's predicting at this point. You know what I mean? Like those are gonna be 100% there. Sea of Stars and Alan Wake if the scores are high. I think that's like the
Wait,
you
what?
know.
What he don't have? He don't have Final Fantasy. He don't have Starfield.
Yeah.
Okay. Or Hogwarts Legacy. I don't see nobody talk about that no more.
I don't think Hogwarts is gonna make it. Unfortunately, I don't think Hogwarts is gonna make it. I think there's better games that are released in Hogwarts. So Hogwarts is super
And the
popular.
politics behind it, too.
It definitely got the popularity because it sold a lot of copies. But I don't think it makes Game of the Year. It'll probably be in a different category. No Envy Gaming says RE4, Tears of the Kingdom, Street Fighter 6, What am I saying? Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. What am I saying? I'm about to say Super Mario 2, Mario Wonder, and Sea of Stars. It's gonna be very interesting.
Stars.
I think it's gonna be very interesting, man. How
People
all
got
this
that
plays
indie
out.
representative in there, but I don't know. I don't know if we get that this year.
Yeah, we might not. We might not. Okay. Did we cover everything that I wanted to cover on the pod? J-Man, can you think of anything that we missed that we did not talk about? I guess quickly. Right now, I guess some people were data mining and found out PlayStation may be bringing trophy support to their PC games, and I need this to absolutely happen, people. I will. Okay, people are always calling us the whole slate cappers. I promise you, if they put a platinum trophy on the PC variation of any of these PlayStation games like Returnal, Spider-Man, Uncharted, I'm going back to get I'm going to re-up on them platinums, bro. Again, I'm definitely going to do that. I hope this happens. I can see this happening. I think this is just a natural evolution.
With their own launcher, or maybe just sign into your PSN?
Sign in, almost like what Xbox does. Literally, Xbox with games like Gears of War, right? Yeah. As soon as you boot it up, it has this thing that like you can sign into your Xbox Live account. I think it's just gonna be the same thing. Sign into your PSN account.
Or even if you're playing on Steam, you sign into your Xbox account, you can still get the
exactly. You get both. You get Steam achievements.
Okay, you get Steam achievement. Oh yeah, okay. I can see them doing that, definitely.
I can see them doing that. I don't think they're gonna launch their own launcher. I don't think that's gonna be a thing. No.
Okay, so then that might mean they'll have some retroactive joints. Well, no, because it will depend on your save. So
yeah. See, it's a difference, right? It's a difference. It's almost like when you're playing. Okay, remember some games launch on the PS4 and there's some games that launch on the PS5, right? The same game, but they have two different trophy lists completely. I think it's just gonna be the same thing when we get to see our PSN. It's gonna say the little tab PS5, PS4, and PC.
And PC, yeah.
And PC. Now I could definitely see that being a thing.
Okay.
I think we pretty much covered everything that. I guess we could end off on this topic. Redfall. Redfall. That game that Bethesda dropped, that the first $70 Microsoft game, right?
Well, one thing that will happen is at least it won't be the worst game ever because we got that King Kong game that's going to take not the worst game ever, but worst game of the year. That King Kong game is, oh my god.
Yeah. So Redfall finally got a 60 frames per second patch. I don't know if that 60 frames per second is going to save the game though, because it was 60 frames per second on PC and I still didn't enjoy myself. But
it's fucking dead.
Okay, the patch is here. Who cares? What was interesting to me personally is apparently the studio said that they want to have a redemption arc.
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yep. I think. And hold up. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm here to say that this ain't gonna work. I don't know if this one gonna work. Not every game could pull off a No Man's Sky. Not every game could be a Battlefield type of situation. We're seeing Halo get a little bit of a resurgence. I don't think Redfall is gonna be the one, J-Main, bro. There was like single digit players playing the game.
Yeah, nobody playing this shit.
I don't think there's anything that you can do that
and
will
the
get people
dude
back in that game.
And the dude back in September that said he wanted Redfall to be a good game eventually, fucking retired last week. So like, Pete Hines came out talking about Redfall will be a good game eventually. And this motherfucker retired this week or last week. One of those. Like he's going. This shit is over.
Yeah.
Move on to the next one.
I think it's time to move on. Sometimes it's okay to hang it up, take your L, and move on. I think Redfall is one of the situations where you do that. I think
it's certain games where you could be like, okay, I can see how they can salvage this. Redfall is not one of them. It's not. Move on. And
think about it. Usually those games that launch kind of bad, they still retain some sort of a player base. Look at like Rainbow Siege, Battlefield, right? They still retain some sort of people playing the game. Maybe not as much as like franchises used to, right? But it kept the player base, right? Redfall on the other hand, everyone left. There's like 2 hardcore players of Redfall, 2. Why y'all gonna have a redemption arc? I think y'all should hang it up and just work on like Dishonored 3 or some shit like
3.
that.
That should be the next game. They got to get back in the good graces over there. Arcade.
Just make Dishonored 3 and
Dishonored 3 should be next.
And just do that.
How many people playing Redfall right now? 24. 24 on
people.
Steam.
Yeah, hang it up. All right. That's the podcast, man. That's a podcast this week. It was fun, J-Man, as always. Shout out to all the people who came to watch the podcast live. Once again, if you're a first-time listener of the podcast, please leave a comment in the comment section so we can shout you out. We appreciate you checking out. Shout out to everyone, all the new subscribers of the channel. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying my back catalog of content that I've been doing. I have another big video I'm working on. You know what I mean? It's obviously not going to do as well as my Spider-Man joint, but...
don't say that. You never know. You never know.
But I'm glad that, I got some extra eyes on the channel now, so I really do appreciate it. Shout out to all the new subscribers to the channel. I really do appreciate that. Make sure you check out my boy's video as well, Spider-Man review. His link to his channel is in the description below. Makes great content as well, so make sure you subscribe to my boy J-Main as well.
Appreciate it.
Is there anything? I think we have some super chats I gotta read that is left. Okay, so this one's from Blaze 4K. Okay, no, I think I already read that. Gamer from Canada, he sent over a $5 super chat, and No NV Gaming said, "What's good, y'all? Super Mario is about to be lit tomorrow. I'm looking forward to the game. I'm hearing it's very good. I'm looking forward."
You didn't play it yet?
I haven't played it yet. I'm working on Liza P right now, to be honest. I'm playing a little bit of Liza P, and
I need to play that too.
The game is great. The game is great.
I heard mad good things. My coworker even was playing that shit. It was like it's like the best Souls-like game he's ever played.
Yeah, it's really good. All right, I think Nev shared J-Main channel, so make sure you guys go.
Appreciate that, Nev.
Make sure y'all subscribe to my boy J-Main as well and check out his content. All right. It was a good episode, and we'll be back next week, man. Look forward to the new video I'm dropping sometime next week. Yo, it's gonna be a fun one. All right, y'all be safe.